Hello and welcome to my channel. And I do have some breaking news here. Many of you guys may have known that the development and the announcement of a remake of KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic game by Lucasfilm Games. And so I wanted to go over that. I've been watching everything develop since then, and I was basically deciding if I should do a breaking news or not. And so here we are here. So we have this here. So we know that KOTOR is being remade. I have my doubts. I played KOTOR just a little tiny bit. I haven't had a chance to fully get into games. I've been so busy. But we know that KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, is such a popular, well-loved Star Wars game, and it takes place like thousands of years before the prequel trilogy and the OT. And we have, the development of the Sith. We get to see the Sith, we get to see the Jedi, what happened in that time frame. Everybody loved it. They got to choose how to play their characters as well. Very, very fun game. So here we have, in this breaking news, we've had information about how it's going to be a remake, how it's going to be rewritten, how it's going to be rethought for the newer generations. And so I'm going to go ahead and share Bounding into Comics article here, because it has everything that I want to share in general in this one article here, just to make life easy on me and you guys here. So, they say the former Mary Sue writer and social justice activist Sam Maggs, working on Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake. She is brought in to rewrite. And so this isn't a remaster. This is a remake. Why in the heck would they need to rewrite something when you already have all the info there? And then the author to the novels, which are canon for original Star Wars, is Drew Carpathian. And so why not consult with him? So we have all these questions that a lot of fans have been asking and pondering. So here we go. So this is by John F. Trent. Former Mary Sue writer and social justice activist Sam Maggs announced that she is and has been working on the newly announced Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake. And I did watch the small little trailer for it. It just has a blatant little shadow figure of Revan. And then it goes into this right here, this little, announcement right here, Star Wars Knights of the Republic remake. All right. Star Wars, The Knights of the Old Republic remake was announced at the PlayStation Showcase at 2021, and that's the one I watched with a little brief information on that, where games lead producer Ryan Treadwell made it abundantly clear the game is a complete remake. So again, complete remake. So this is not being remastered or redesigned, I guess, to fit the platforms that they're going to put on. It's a remake. He explained, this is a complete remake of the beloved Star Wars story for Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake. We are rebuilding from the ground up while maintaining the integrity of the story from the original. So there's a lot to think about right there. They are remake and rebuilding it from the ground up. So they're taking and arranging the story around and everything to fit to the newer generations, right? But if the story isn't broke, why fix it, right? The game is always being played by new fans. It's that beloved, right? So why remake it? And they're saying they're going to keep integrity of the story, the original story, but it's going to be remake. So what is it? You can't. It's a catch right there, right? So I'm intrigued, curious, more than curious to see what happens with, and how people who love this and play this will react to the actual remake once it's out. I know a lot of people that love this game that I, have acquaintance with, are friends with, that are very excited about this. Treadwell would add, the original Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is a true classic and one of our favorite Star Wars stories ever. We want to honor the original story and make it impactful for players today. I think the game still is impactful for players today. from what I hear, like I said, I only started playing it. I had to put it down because my life has been so busy. But I think this is one of those timeless games that's held true. So I am like in disbelief. All right. In terms of the visuals, we have the opportunity to present the story with a much higher level of fidelity than was possible in the past, while making sure that we are being authentic to what players loved about the original game. So he's saying, okay, so he's feeding fan service right there. So I hope and pray for the sake of those who are feeding into this and want the game once it's out, that they hold true to it. And the writer that they're bringing in does not install any faith in me that they would. In an interview with StarWars.com, Treadwell also reiterated, our big goals on this are to bring the story to a modern audience and have it be just as impactful today as it was for players when it originally launched. Again, if they are following this, they would know that Knights of the Old Republic is still impactful for new players today. So again, that old adage, don't fix if it's not broken, right? Lucasfilm Games executive producer Orion Kellogg also told StarWars.com, we've been working really, really close with Aspire for a long time now, and deconstruct what made KOTOR so great and bring that back to a new audience, because we want this game to be an incredible RPG. So yeah, they're bringing back the original, creators that worked on that with some new people here. And I haven't gotten this far just yet on the game, but as a new player, I guess you could say, because I stopped playing games in my late teens. So I didn't have a chance to even get into this Star Wars game. I can't, I still think that is impactful as a new player. So I don't know why they're acting like this is something that's not timeless. It is very, very timeless. All right, so Kellogg went on to hint that they will be changing character design, dialogue, and more. We want this game to be just as beloved as it was before. Some of my favorite meetings to have in my week right now are to get into the nitty-gritty of Aspire and ask and talk about, why did we make the choice in the original game, and how does that play today? Okay, so there you go. They're dissecting it. They're like, okay, this in the past doesn't fit today, so we're going to take it out. That's how I see that. Now, is that okay with KOTOR fans that are longtime players that really, really love the story? I know some really, really big fans of the game that don't like the novels because they like the gameplay that they established with it, right? And so what does that mean to you? Does that mean that, okay, so they're going to pick and choose what stays and goes and they're going to rewrite the story? That's what I see with that. I'm going to go ahead and skip down here. He then reiterated they are just deconstructing the game. There you go. We trust Aspire. We trust the team that works on it. And we are doing the work ourselves to dig in, deconstruct, and connect to why people love it, because we don't want to mess with that. Whew. So they're feeding fan service here. I see that. They're also going in there and deconstruct it to fit modern times. They've already announced that they want newer generations, but they want to still try to catch that lightning in the bottle still. And we know that's difficult to do because we've seen that with the Disney trilogy. They try to catch that lightning in the bottle. It didn't happen. And so this is why now we have a lot of people skeptical. Myself, I don't trust Disney Lucasfilm because they've promised a lot to us, and they haven't delivered. They then they tell the long-term fans you can piss off, basically. And they did it with the EU, and now they're coming back and saying, oh, we're going to honor you with this game, but we're going to go ahead and redo it, take it apart, put it back together, and hopefully we can catch that lightning in the bottle. And because we're honoring you. And I don't think this is honoring. If they're truly honoring, they would just make it so it fits the platform that they're taking it to, leave the story intact. Maybe, with modern technology from past and present, how everything advances, then maybe they would clean things up for the newer platforms, right? And but that doesn't seem how it's going to happen. They are going to retell the story, where they're going to reimagine, they're going to remake, and we know how that goes with Disney Lucasfilm. As for Sam Maggs, she announced her involvement in the game on Twitter, sharing a video of her updating her Twitter profile, Knights of the Old Republic. So that was her announcement. So here it is. I'm not going to click in there. I'm not going to change screens. In subsequent tweets, she added, could not be more honored and excited to be part of an incredible team at Aspire Media to remake one of my all-time favorite games. So we do have this conflict here where they asked her what her favorite game is, and she, stated another game. And then they asked her if Knights of the Old Republic was one of her favorite game, and she said no. It doesn't have to necessarily be up in her top favorites. She could still like it, but more than none, I've noticed that KOTOR is everybody's all-time favorite. So everybody's questioning her on this take, and I don't blame them, but it doesn't necessarily have to be her favorite, all-time favorite either, and I'm not sticking up for her. I'm just putting some logic and thought into that. It's up to her. And her favorite story here is Yoda stories, and that's what she announced as well. And then we get this right here, which everybody's sharing. In that same thread, she also tweeted, "Isn't KOTOR your favorite?" And she puts no. Again, it doesn't have to be her all-time favorite for her to work on anything. And again, I'm just trying to put some logic in here. Only time will tell. But you would think that it should be at least up in her favorites to really, really, really work on something. But let's go on, okay? As her social justice activism, she takes particular interest in the patriarchy. In 2014, she wrote, "Fighting the patriarchy makes me hungry, so I'm going to sit in the kitchen while my male partner cooks dinner." Mind you, men do cook, and that's fine. Women cook too, that's fine. I think it's really good for men to learn how to cook, especially when they're on their own, right? To take care of themselves and stuff. I have no problem with that. But when you start separating and you start making yourself superior over the other one, then there's a problem. When Barnes & Noble posts a fan question, if you were an action figure, what would it be? Your answer, you assume accessory, Mags, your awesome accessory. I butchered that. Let me go back to that. If you were an action figure, what would be your awesome accessory? Mag's response to a hammer for smashing the patriarchy. It would have bows on it. So there you go. Again, when you start putting your gender, yourself above the other, you start creating problems. One can't exist without the other. One complements the other. And I'm a true believer of that within my culture and just within basic society. Men and women complement each other. We can't have one without each other. Yeah, we do have people that tend to be toxic in a bad way, arrogant, and all that. It happens. There's always good and bad in everything, right? But doesn't mean just because there's a bad apple, for example, doesn't mean that all of them are bad, right? That's a shame that she has to say something like that. In 2017, she tweeted, "It's freezing, but hating on the patriarchy keeps me warm." So there we go. So we have all of that going on here. This is why people are now thinking this is such a bad mistake to put her in as a writer, because the majority, I wouldn't say majority, but a good handful of gamers are male, right? There are a lot of female players too as well, but a good majority are male players. And for her thought and how she hates men and stuff like that, the fear is that she's going to put that in the game. And so I'm going to go ahead and skip all that. This was all collected by Data Racer as well, but we have the history here. So here you go, you guys. I want to know your thoughts about how you feel about this. I want to know, do you have hope? Are you going to buy it? Are you going to continue to support Disney Star Wars after everything they have done to the fans and done to the IP that I see many of people on Twitter in who are stand with Gina Carano or what have you complain about Disney Star Wars, and then all of a sudden something new comes out and you're like, I'm gonna get it, so what is it? I ask this question as honest and as sincere as I can possibly can. When are we going to stop giving money to something that has not supported us, that has insulted us, that has insulted the past lore? So when is that? When are we going to get to that line? I've gotten there. Whatever books I need to collect from to continue and finish my collection of the old novels, the original novels of the canon, without the labels, I'm doing that. I'm not giving a penny. I'm not going to buy this reimagined remake KOTOR because that's not the Star Wars. That's not George's. That's not the authentic Star Wars. I am tired of being bashed by these people as a fan, and to have this writer go in here and bash the male fans of Star Wars, and she even sticks up for for Rey and bashes fans on that. And I didn't cover that, but it's there. So when is the breaking point? When are you going to put your foot down? And that's the main question. And again, I'd say it with sincerity, compassion. When are you going to stop paying? When are you going to stop being a masochist? Whatever. So there we go, you guys. What do you think? What are you going to buy this? Are you going to stand by and see what happens with it? And if it's worth your money, worth your time? Are you done giving Disney Star Wars your money? Let me know in the comments. And thank you again for watching, and I will talk to you later. And may the Force be with you.